Hey everyone, evidently there's no sound. Let me know if there is sound. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? So bear with me 1 second while I reload the screen. Let's say hello to the chat while we're doing this. So hey to Romano. Nana, forgive me if I get your name wrong. Nana Taku, Uncle Guns. And let's see. Hurricane Paro, the Walrus. Woody Johnson for president. P. Fletch. How's everybody doing? Okay, let's see if this thing is going to work now, shall we?
Information.
Can you hear the sound?
Are you trying to recruit me? No. I'm just trying to share something meaningful.
Is the sound working? Can anybody let me know?
Groups.
We're a Bible
sound for now. Okay, let me rewind it then. Awesome. I did start it over.
Want devoted followers who leave their families for you?
Is it working now? Son of a bitch, what is going on? Okay, Self, can you come back here and help me with the sound issue, because I don't know what else to do. I don't know why it's not working. No sound, great. Now, yes? Yeah, me, the video. I want to know, is the video working? Okay. Here, let's rewind it to here then.
Want devoted followers who leave their families for you?
Still
give
good?
Their money to you, give their bodies to you, give up their lives for you, consider you God, and will kill for you?
I love you.
Don't you want to become a cult leader? Since the death of God, there's been a vacancy open. You could fill that void. Here's how. Structure your cult like an onion with the most benign and helpful features on the outside and the most controlling, kooky, and evil parts at the secret inner core. Use deception. Don't tell them who you really are. Lie. Leave out important information or distort information.
Are you trying to recruit me?
No. I'm just trying to share something meaningful with you. Establish front groups.
We're a Bible study group.
We're a management course. We're a meditation center.
We're a world peace organization. We're a personal development center.
We're a drug rehab center.
Promise to fulfill their dreams.
Don't you want a world of unconditional love and brotherhood?
We have the secrets to self-improvement.
You can join us something special. Join our
elite mission to save the world. We can teach you special powers, personal power,
psychic power,
Past life connection, telekinesis.
Offer them something free and get them to feel obliged to give you something in return.
Well, we gave you that free dinner. The least you could do is come to our weekend intensive.
You can tell them time is running out and that they must make their decision now or it will be too late.
Game is not just about how a guy can get laid. It might be about saving his life.
This is your only chance to make it. Don't blow it.
It's important to make this commitment now.
This is an issue of burning urgency.
Don't give them time to think. Diminish doubting commiseration by separating your new recruits from each other. Surround them with happy true believers so when in doubt they will tend to do what everyone around them is doing and believe that is normal. Start with a prolonged period of love bombing. Surround them with unconditional love and attention. Your cult family should act friendly and interested. Get information and hone their weak spots.
Tell us about yourself.
Take this personality test.
And then use this information to manipulate them.
Gradually over time, you'll begin to shape the recruit's behavior by granting or withholding this love and attention. After they've bonded, slowly start making your demands upon them. The message being,
Nothing in this world has value unless it relates to the leader or the ultimate purpose.
control their behavior.
Come live with us.
Wear these clothes.
Eat this food. All you need is 2 hours sleep.
Prescribe a rigid schedule. Keep them active and with as little sleep as possible. If you can, restrict their eating habits to low-protein food. Control their thoughts.
Our ideology answers all questions to all problems.
Saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
Let our doctrine think for you.
Control their emotions. Induce guilt.
Read it off. And I said, here's why this makes sense. And after a while, enough guys did that they had to actually read my book and they had to acknowledge that what I was talking about was actually changing guys' lives, helping guys, keep the noose off their neck and the gun out of their mouths. And they had to realize that the stuff that I was writing about in here, it's hard to accept.
The United States dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima.
People are dying of starvation.
People are dying of starvation.
You are not living up to your potential.
High value man.
What is a high value man? Glad you asked. Let's define it.
You are not living up to your potential.
High value man.
You cheated on that test.
And fear.
The enemy will electroshock you.
Overwhelming feminist propaganda.
Toxic feminism.
Torture you.
Kill you or carry you off to hell.
Women.
Control information. Keep them from knowing all the workings of the cult.
Block out any information which is critical of the group.
Encourage members to spy and report on one another. Separate the recruit from himself by attacking the self and inducing a mental breakdown disguised as a spiritual awakening. When they start to freak out, have side effects, or hallucinate, tell them they are flushing out the bad stuff inside.
Red pill rage.
Today I want to talk about red pill rage, man.
When I was meditating, I felt an infinite emptiness. It was utterly terrifying.
No, this is good. You're transforming. Do it more.
You are reaching God.
You're being reborn.
You are becoming one with the universe, one with our family.
Make them paranoid about their own bodies or thought processes.
You're battling your sinful nature. Your body is detoxifying.
Demon retention.
Tell them that there is a part of their mind they must eliminate in order to find happiness.
You must eliminate the toxic mind.
Your ego. Your ego is the source of all your problems. I don't know who I am anymore.
Good. Now you're free. In fact, there was no you there to begin with.
Claim authority. It can come from a divine source.
Your Bible clearly states that I am the Messiah.
Bogus scientific research.
Psychology, evolutionary psychology, you talk a lot about that.
Scientific studies prove my techniques work.
Or special knowledge.
I am the enlightened master of the universe.
Make up stories about yourself to boost your importance.
I invented air. I have special access to the aliens.
But don't be stupid about it. Start slowly. A good con man takes a little bit of truth and a lot of lies and pulls the wool over the eyes of the ignorant. Induce trance states and self-hypnosis by practicing thought-stopping rituals and repetitive acts like dancing, spinning, singing.
We love the leader is love. When I'm not with him, I feel like a schlub. We love the leader is love. When I'm not with him, I feel like a schlub.
Over breathing. And chanting.
Stamp out down, 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 stamp out down.
Practice prolonged hours of meditation. In these trance states, they are more receptive and suggestible. Revert them back to childhood dependence and mindless obedience. Encourage separation from their family.
Your friends and family probably won't understand.
Blue pill content.
Your friends and family probably won't understand.
And your family and your friends, they'll say, well, you've changed, man.
It doesn't sound like your family and friends really love you if they can't support your new decision.
Maybe you should stay away from them. It's unhealthy for you to be around unenlightened people anyway.
To be red pill aware.
If you can't recruit your friends, cut off from them.
Stop wasting time with non-believers.
Stop wasting time with non-believers.
Encourage dependency and conformity, and discourage autonomy and individuality.
The whole purpose must be the focus. The self-purpose must be subordinated.
The whole purpose must be the focus. The self-purpose must be subordinated.
Have confessionals where people demonize their early lives and only praise their life in the group. Rewrite the past as terrible, even if it was great.
This is my worst simp story. I was dating this girl when I was much younger. She was like the one. We were so in love.
That you are a simp. Not a pimp, but a simp.
Before I came to Emerge, I was a bad person. I was greedy, misguided, self-centered, and lost. My life is wonderful now. I hate my old life.
My red pill story.
The heart of simping is an epidemic of broken men that don't feel good enough as they are, so they think they need to compensate for their lack by providing additional value.
Before coming to Emerge, I was always in my ego. My toxic mind was running my life. I was a sinful, negative loser. Thanks to the leader, every day I'm a winner.
Isolate them from the rest of the world. Make them feel part of a special elite group with an important mission.
Monuments and historical landmarks will someday be erected to commemorate us and our sacrifices.
Tighten your group's bond by establishing scapegoats and enemies. Demonize outsiders as less than human, biased, corrupt, or conspiring against the group. Develop an us versus them mentality. Fighting resistance. Tell them their critical thoughts are evidence that they have committed crimes against the group. Start investigating them and make up crimes.
I think I want to leave.
You must be insane.
Make them feel guilty.
We're doing important work here.
You expect saving the world is easy?
We're all called upon to make some sacrifices for the cause.
Just when things get tough, you want to give up.
You're weak.
Do you want to move forward toward freedom and enlightenment? Or do you want to fall back into your old dirty ways?
What's more important, our mission?
Our family?
Eternal salvation?
Or your petty grievances?
You're being negative.
Ignorant.
Selfish.
And sinful.
Our leader is flawless.
The doctrine is flawless.
There must be something wrong with you.
There must be something wrong with you.
There must be something wrong with you.
There must be something wrong with me. There must be something wrong with me.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Indoctrinate with fear. Tell them that they could be possessed by evil spirits, or suggest that if they should ever leave, something bad could happen to them.
I'm just warning you that without us, you're liable to get into a bad accident, get sick, or even die. I'm warning you. Without us, you're likely to get into a bad accident, get sick, or even die.
If you leave, you'll just be reincarnated into a lower life form.
Make it easier for them to die for you by calling their bodies containers that are shed before they evolve into higher life forms. It's that simple. Now, don't you want to become a cult leader? Don't you want devoted followers who leave their families for you, give their money to you, give their bodies to you, give up their lives for you, and will kill for you?
I will do what you say for the cause. I will leave my family for the cause. I will give you my money for the cause. I will give you my body for the cause. I will die for the cause. I will kill for the cause. I love you.
How many times did you say your omi, omi, omis as you watched the video? Did anybody? Calling me. Do not call me right now. Can you guys hear me? Is the sound working okay? Is my sound going okay? Let me know. Testing 1, 2, 3. Anybody? Yes, thank you. It's one of my friends are in the audience. We used to play League of Legends together. Anyways, Anyway, oh yes, okay. We almost forgot the music today. That's right. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna play us a nice little bubbly little tune after that. Let me know if that's too high or too low, and then we're gonna get the show on the road. Anyways, so during my absence, as I get into the rest of the show, I have been hanging with the fam. I got a sunburn. I've cut a foot of my hair off because it was all the way practically to my rear end. And I hurt my lower back. So I had to take a couple of days off. That's right. Things in life has superseded now. Now, as we get back into the world of cults and cult leaders, are you involved in a cult? Do you think maybe something that you've placed your hope, your faith, and your money into it, does it resemble anything that you've seen so far? Today, we're going to delve into, here at School of Thought, as we continue on the volume series of cult leaders. Today, it's about cult leaders. It's not actually about cults per se. It's about the leaders and the types of people that they are and how they're attracted into it. Interestingly enough, every single one of the types of occult leaders are always narcissistic, with God complexes, of course. And of course, the attitude is always, follow me or you will be doomed, right? The old saying of drink the Kool-Aid. We'll be addressing that one tonight too. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, kids. Think about it first. And so let's read a little bit more on this subject today, shall we? Welcome in all you little School of Thoughties out there. School is in session, and I welcome you and every single one of you, and I appreciate you all. Occult leaders or cult leaders often possess specific traits and employ certain tactics to attract and retain followers. Here's an overview of what makes cult leaders, why people follow them, and how to spot them. Here's some characteristics of these occult leaders. Number one, charisma. Do I have charisma? Would you like to join my cult? The cult of thoughts? No, I'm just kidding. They are often charismatic individuals who can inspire and influence others. They present themselves as figures of authority, often claiming special knowledge of divine, quote unquote, insight. Manipulation. You can't have one without the other, folks. Okay? If you're going to lie to people, you have to manipulate them and get them to believe your lie. They use psychological manipulation, including guilt and fear and indoctrination. Number four, isolation. They often isolate their followers from family, friends, and outside influences. Why do they do that? Because any type of opinion or outside thought can jeopardize that type of brainwashing. You can't have that. 5, absolute power. They demand absolute loyalty and always obedience from their followers. Now, the reasons people follow them, here's one reason why people like to follow them. Now, remember, the cult can be anything. It can be anything from online cults to, super churches. Joel Osteen, how you doing, baby? Sense of belonging. People often seek a sense of community and belonging that cults provide. Of course they do, because there's a lot of hurting and lonely people out there. But those aren't the best way to appease those issues that you have going on the inside. Number 2, they present themselves to having all the answers to life's questions. Followers may be searching for answers to existential questions or solutions to personal problems. 3, charismatic influence. We addressed that, didn't we? The leader's charisma can be deeply persuasive and compelling. Does that account for like historical political figures? I think it does. Does that even account for maybe possibly the WHO? I don't know. Possibly, huh? Vulnerability. People going through difficult times who are psychologically vulnerable and more susceptible. I know many of us have been there before, haven't we? And gotten ourselves looking for answers online, finding videos that seem to ring true into truths and per like say perception into what's going on with our minds and our personal lives that present giving you the answers to it, but not necessarily. Sometimes it's just kind of giving you kind of an overview of what it is that you're searching for, but the context of it is completely incorrect. So don't always think what you're coming across is the deep answers to your life questions. 5, deceptive practices. Cults often use deceptive practices to attract and retain members, masking their true nature. And how to spot occult leaders. Oh boy, here we go. Number 1, exclusivity. Do they give you your membership card? Oh, is it fancy? Does it look pretty? Does it make you feel like you finally belong to something and powerful? Claims of exclusive knowledge or insight that only the leaders can provide. 2, isolation tactics, encouraging followers to cut ties with those outsiders, including your family and your friends. Demanding obedience, high levels of control over followers' lives and personal thoughts. They're also demanding and unquestioning loyalty. Don't do as I do as I say, right? You've heard that before, haven't you? That's right. Don't do anything that I do because I can do whatever I want. But you, now, you do as you're told. And don't wander outside of that little parameter of that box that I've given you. Be a good boy, be a good girl, sit down and do as I've told you to. Financial exploitation, pursuing followers to make significant financial contributions. And we're going to start tallying it up here. 5, us versus them mentality, promoting an adversarial worldview that pits followers against the outside world. Feminists against the manosphere? Oh, possibly. The men against the women? Oh, class against class, race against race. My God, they will stop at nothing. Repressive rules, imposing strict and often oppressive rules on behavior, your dress, how you're dressing. Gee, my cleavage might be showing off too much for some people. Well, oppress me and tell me that I should be slut shamed. Should I? Should I really? I might just slap somebody upside the head for that one. And your relationships. Well, if you're having a relationship that they don't agree with, by God, you better cut those ties. We're going to shame you until you're single or until you're with somebody that we feel is a best fit just for you. And that often that fit is exactly the mold that they want for you and your life. By understanding these traits and tactics, one can be more vigilant and critical when encountering individuals or groups that exhibit these warning signs. That's a lot to take in, isn't it? I want to say hello to everybody in the chat again as more pile in. I'm going to abbreviate your name because I cannot pronounce it. Nyanu, Self-Made. We've got TVM. We've got Romano. And we've got all kinds of people. Hold on a second.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Welcome to all the mods in the chat. We got a good show in store for you tonight. Just having a little technical trouble. We'll be back in a moment. Or Star will be back in a moment. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments. We see cult everywhere. And just a sec. Cults go back a long way back, from early religion to politics, the cult of personality. You've got your Karl Marx, your Lenin, your Stalin, Trotsky. In America, you've got your benevolent dictators and your Saddam Husseins. You've got your Mao and his little red book. All of these cults have this charismatic leadership, but they also have a sense of community. Everyone belongs, but they also have a dogma and heresy. They have apostates who are worse than the unbelievers. They have a central faith, but it's really always about money and power. Money and power and control and fear and shame, guilt. There's always some sort of narcissistic need for control. Bear with me, chat. There she is.
I am so sorry about that. Literally had a backstage emergency. People pounding.
No worries.
People pounding on my door, and I couldn't avoid this one. Okay, so we've got the next video queued. Welcome in, Tony Bruno. I'm so glad to see you again. And yes, my voice is very different. It got several octaves lower, didn't it? Let me know if everybody can hear this video. I just queued it, and let's go. This is on Cult Leaders' Personality Traits Become Invincible, shall we?
But suppose you could take all the positive traits of a cult leader and leave behind all the bad stuff. After all, this is the best part about modeling somebody. You don't have to model the whole person. You can pick and choose certain positive behaviors from an otherwise horrible person. So you don't necessarily need to want to start a cult to soak up some of the positive characteristics of a cult leader. So what are some cult leader personality traits that you can cultivate?
Are you ready for this? So if you are looking to start your very own cult and do a nice little fat grift off of it, you might want to take some notes. All right, kids, school has been in session. Do you have your papers? Do you have your pencils? Are they sharp? Let's take these notes, shall we?
Yes, Miss Nova.
Thank you, Sean. Always my favorite student.
Grade 1. Fantastic public speaking skills. It's hard to become a cult leader if you are shy when speaking in public. Cult leaders need to not only feel confident speaking in public, but they need to absolutely dominate from the stage. You've got to be able to get up in front of others and let it all hang out. Speak passionately, speak articulately, speak with grand gestures about grand ideas. One of the ways to model this behavior is to watch some more popular preachers from mega churches. If you can speak like those guys, you are well on your way to cult leader level skills. Trait 2, insane one-on-one communication. A common description of cult leaders is when they talk to their followers, it is intense. The followers describe this experience as being the only thing on the cult leader's mind when the cult leader is talking to their followers. So when you speak to people, clear your mind of everything else. Focus on the person you are speaking to with all of your brain power. Forget about all the
I've cleared my mind. Am I getting through to you all?
other ideas in your head. Focus only on them and use all your brain power to find out what makes them tick, what they want out of life, what they are afraid of, what their insecurities are. Make them feel seen, heard, understood, and appreciated. Let them know through your energy and your focus and your compassion that as long as you are around, they will be fine. Trait 3, massive frame strength. Cult leaders are absolutely confident in themselves. No matter what kind of nut job ideas they believe in them 100%. They are not wishy-washy or filled with doubt. They are absolutely certain about everything they say and do. They are completely congruent.
What about all the cults out there? I won't specifically say a name, but one's telling you that you can be anything and any sex, and you could take any form that you want. Could that be considered a cult?
Definitely.
Congruent in their beliefs and their actions, which is why they are so attractive to so many people. They walk the earth with a sense of purpose that is incredibly rare today. Trait 4, they have a clear opinion about the world. They might be wrong about the way the world really works, but they have a very clear and very detailed opinion about what they think is the way the world works, the way the world really is. They don't wander the earth wondering why things happen. Whatever happens, they know exactly why that happened, at least according to their philosophy. And
they have a prescription for everything. Anything that happens to you in your life, if it's not your fault, it's somebody else's for sure. It's women's nature. It's their fault. It's not yours.
They are very articulate in explaining the way of the world to their followers. This, combined with their incredibly strong frame, is why their followers, sometimes in the millions, can so easily fall under their trance. To be completely hypnotized by this, to be completely mesmerized by this. Trait 5, they have a sense of urgency. They always have a reason why things have to be done.
We must save the planet right now. Climate change. The whole world is going to overheat, or we're going to freeze and everybody's going to die. You know what? It's the cow's fault. Did you know that? It's the cow's fault.
It's an existential crisis.
You're farming, you're making your own vegetables in your backyard. You have to stop that. Your carbon footprint. It's getting out of control. Don't do that now. Hey, Based Oracle. Nice to see you in here.
Right now. This might be the actual end of the world. The government is just about to crack down on everybody. Our alien overlords are just about to swoop down and turn everybody into fertilizer except the chosen few. Something big is always coming. Something cataclysmic is always coming. And that something is just around the corner. Now imagine your future for just a moment, a future in which you have been able to cultivate all of these traits and characteristics, world-class public speaking skills, intense and powerfully charismatic one-on-one communication skills, massive unbreakable frame strength, a highly structured, defensible, articulated way about how the world works and its implications, a massive sense of urgency. What will you be able to do with your newfound powers? How many businesses would you be able to start and turn into multi-million-dollar empires? How much would you be able
My God, I can at least think of 4 off the top of my head. What about you, Shane? Could you start at least 2 or 3 different businesses based off of this this hook?
Oh, easily.
Easily, absolutely, and they would all revolve around social media.
They would, and sales, and you would have to encourage others to join your group.
That's right, and when I do that, I'm also going to make T-shirts for all of the little cults, the little culties,
And
and they can wear my T-shirt with my brand, my logo, my slogans,
merch.
That's right. Write some books, you know, my version of the Bible, you know, something catchy, you know. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you'd have to, you know, sell yourself.
Well, that's no problem. That's no problem. My mind is clear. I can think of all the different ways to solve your problems, and you should pay me for it.
What would you make as a public speaker? How much would you be able to make selling anything from the stage? How much fun would it be to start from scratch as a passionate street preacher and build your empire? How easy would it be to approach dozens of gorgeous people per day and turn them into your obedient love slaves begging to be with you? What would happen to the entire world?
Start my own harem. Did you hear that, man? Love slaves. Start your own harem. Yes, 101. I'll come up with that book also.
If you decided to use your cult powers to become a politician and change everything, how many people could you save as a motivational speaker? How much money would you be able to raise for charitable events? How might you be able to save humanity from its own self-imposed shackles of quiet desperation? The sky's the limit. Develop your cult skills, transform your personality, and save the world. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like,
and thank you, sir, for your education on becoming an invincible cult leader. All right, that was 101 introduction. Shane, do you have anything that you would like to say before I introduce number 2?
No, go ahead.
He just goes, oh no, go ahead. All right, well, let me get it queued up. And this one is how to be an effective. First, we have 101, how you would become one. But now we have to look at how to become an effective cult leader. And let's start, shall we?
Groups of people to spiral into fully fledged fanatics. That's why it takes a real mastermind to lead their own fellowship. And it's why the hallmarks of generating a cult of personality can be seen in business and politics. Take the legacy of Steve Jobs' Apple presentation, or the passion of Trump supporters and anti-Trump supporters. What about the sports nuts who live and breathe their own team colors? Whether you'd like to admit it or not, one time or another, you've been brainwashed by groupthink. So maybe you want to see if...
Don't worry, Tony. It's a comfortable cult. We have good food here. You know, we grill, fish, steak. It'll be very comfortable.
If you have what it takes to be promoted to leader, or maybe you want to know the red flags before your yoga teacher asks you to drink the Kool-Aid. So it's time to learn how history works as we explain how to be a cult leader. Step 1. Have the X factor. Every rock band needs a captivating lead singer. Every movie needs a magnetic lead. If you're not charismatic, then chances are you won't get your cult off the ground. So if you hate talking in front of crowds or you don't know how to approach strangers in public, take the academic route. A demonstrable knowledge in a particular field will help you stand out. Plus, speaking about something you're an expert in will stoke the flames of passion in yourself and admirers. David Koresh of the Branch Davidians and Jim Jones of the People's Temple were big Bible nerds, which is why their sermons were so entertaining. But consider the leader of Aum Shinrikyo, Shoko Ashara. His reserved, introverted demeanor doesn't exactly scream terrorist doomsday cult, but his vast interest in multiple religious disciplines helped him cultivate an image of being a wise and trustworthy intellectual. But
I kind of like his pink outfit. Did you like his pink outfit, Shane?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know much about that man.
Well, he believed he was the Messiah reborn.
Oh, don't they all?
Yes.
Be a reoccurring theme of batshit crazy, for sure.
The real X factor is an air of mystery. You could claim to be the reincarnation of a religious prophet, or have supernatural powers, or be like Daniel Perez, leader of Angel's Landing. He said that his life as a 1,000-year-old angel could only be sustained by sexual relations with young women. When it comes to being a cult leader, it's...
Of course, it always seems to involve young, young ladies, right?
There was an old wives' tale, I think, from ancient Rome, where they used to say that old men needed to sleep with virgins to maintain their health.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I do remember that one actually. I wonder if it worked.
They all died.
Yeah, eventually. I wonder how many STDs they also spread back then. Oh,
go big or go home. Step 2, choose a business model. Cults require infrastructure and administration, which means you need capital. You might not like number crunching, so be sure to pick a business model that best reflects your goals and ambitions. Take Love Has Won. It was a new age, hippy-dippy cult that only had 20 or so full-time members. The scale fitted perfectly with the expectations of leader Amy Carlson, whose mummified remains were preserved in a shrine by her dedicated followers. Her corpse was decorated with Christmas lights, and the eyeless sockets of her skull were painted with glitter. Those hippies sure love arts and crafts. In life, she claimed to be the rebirth of Jesus and Marilyn Monroe, and the queen of the lost continent of Lemuria, whatever that is. She alleged she could cure cancer and communicate with angels, yet a woman with a huge ego ran a humble operation. Her cult was a self-sufficient farm that would have collapsed if...
You know, I would have thought she would have dressed a little bit better. Honestly. I'm not impressed with the rainbow colored hair garb like at all. My camera is like freaking out, so I'll just hit play and hope it clears up.
If it grew too large.
That comes from me is as I serve love every day, and I am in love in action every moment. That is my role. I've been like that since I was born.
But perhaps you would rather rub elbows with Hollywood than with organic farmers.
They used to call that delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
Yes, all these people have wonderful delusions of grandeur. I'm noticing a theme. I don't know if I have that. Ability, but I can pretend.
And they're all saviors, of course.
Yes, they're all saviors. And if you don't got it, you fake it till you make it. So, right?
Of Nexium, which was literally a private company run like a pyramid scheme. Its founder was Keith Raniere, and the organization turned over six-figure profits through its self-help seminars and pseudoscience courses. That's why it did so well in Hollywood. LA always has a queue of desperate people waiting for the next trend to lift them to stardom. Clearly, Raniere knew his geographical position would help scale the company. His business plan was informed by the market on his doorstep. But not everyone is business savvy. If that's you, consider financial donations, and don't be afraid to use force. Even if your members have donated their life savings and possessions to you, those outgoings will build. So how did David Perez, the 1,000-year-old angel, get out of the red? He murdered his members to claim their life insurance. It's quite a risk, but if you know how to recruit new people, you'll never be short on cash.
I wonder what attorney or insurance agent that he was using to put all the different insurance policies on all of its members. I need to get that guy's phone number.
Step 3. Build a following. You can't just walk up to someone and expect them to give up everything to join you. You have to work them. And the easiest people to work are the downtrodden. You're more likely to join a cult if your life is in a tailspin. Maybe you've lost a loved one, or your job, or maybe a destructive addiction has gotten out of hand. We're all looking for answers. So if a kind stranger comes up to you at your lowest point promising salvation, who amongst us would turn them away? That's why the easiest place to find your first few disciples are support groups for addicts, domestic abuse shelters, dive bars, and other moth lights for those who have fallen by the wayside. Once you've got someone in your sights, love bomb them. That means showering them with flattery, compliments, and even gifts to help them feel special. And it works to charm on people who are desperate to be loved. These were the tactics Charles Manson employed during the free love movement of the 1960s. This helped him build a loyal following of female worshippers.
Oh, I don't know pain. I don't know pain. I have no depth of pain. I have no depth of suffering. I don't know ridicule. I don't know all the bad things. I haven't been punished by you all my life since I was 10 years old. I've been in every reform school you got across the country.
By treating them as members of an elite group who were above everybody else, it made it easier for him to circumvent their critical thinking. That will be vital when it comes to keeping everyone in check. Step 4. Lay down the law. It only takes one defector to draw attention from the cops, so make sure you have strict rules in place to stop that from happening. First things first, create an us versus them mentality by teaching your followers to distrust anyone that isn't in the cult, especially their friends and family. Next, make it known that punishment for breaking rules will be swift and severe to discourage dissent. Show no mercy. A Ugandan cult called the Movement for the Restoration of the 10 Commandments of God, catchy name, was so strict on their interpretation of the 9th commandment, thou shalt not bear false witness, that members were terrified from speaking at all.
Yes. I need to upgrade to a writing crop, but it's in the works. In the meantime, if any of you thoughties get out of line, it's going to be severe punishment. Line up and form a line. Thank you very much.
Often, communication was just sign language. Public humiliation is an effective tool to keep everyone in check, so long as you balance this with public displays of praise. That's because the most effective tools of coercion aren't fear and violence, but love and sex. David Koresh said he had been divinely maintained to impregnate the wives of his followers, and Keith Raniere implemented sex games into his group's daily activities. Such claims are a test of your flock's faith, so the bolder your ideas, the stronger the bond. Step 5. Nail your branding. Refine your image to refine your message. Take the Heaven's Gate cult. They had a different mission than the other groups. They weren't trying to usher in the apocalypse to fulfill God's wish. And
you see that? Everyone learned from Romano Productions, not experience, but his view for all of you. An example. Sorry, I was trying to not cough right there. Anyways, by his example, do as he's doing, and you will be my favorite. You will be the teacher's pet. You will be the cult leader's pet. Okay? Line up for discipline. Thank you very much.
And they weren't trying to trigger a race war to become world leaders like Charles Manson. They just wanted to leave their mortal bodies so their ghosts could hitchhike on a UFO that was hiding behind the comet Hale-Bopp. Pretty normal stuff. But a far-out idea needed a far-out image. Their penchant for shaped heads and unisex gowns became the go-to stereotype in media, such as in The Simpsons and Dude, Where's My Car? And their trippy indoctrination videos feel like a strange mix between a dating channel and a David Lynch movie. They were early adopters of the internet too. Their website is still operational to this day. It seems like the members who weren't saved had to stay behind to manage the mailing list. Branding can also be about activities. The Unification Church of South Korea is known for its en masse weddings, where a gigantic crowd of brides and grooms meet for simultaneous nuptials.
For members of one controversial movement, marriage is part of their Messiah's grand vision. Dutiful couples pair off thousands at a time, and a bride shares her most intimate day with 2,000 other brides.
For something less outgoing, look at the practices of the Brethren. They're known for outlawing birthdays, pop music, gender mixing, and even laughing. Clearly, such a strong image has...
Welcome in, Walrus. It's good to see you again. Everybody who's here and just skulking about, please remember to hit the like button for the algorithms and subscribe for more. There will be more cult fun and many other things to come.
Helped inoculate the group from outsiders, which is why little is known about them and why so few escape. Step 6, invest in real estate. You'll need a base of operations so that you can rule your cult to your heart's content. Jonestown is now the textbook way for setting up a private compound in South America. During the 1970s, when Jim Jones was drawing too much attention from law enforcement, he used the group's funds to set up a James Bond villain retreat. Followers and their families lived in purpose-built homes and farmed the fields like a giant summer camp. There was a mess hut for communal meals and halls for sermons and Bible study. Children had playgrounds and classrooms. There was also an armory for guns, and a nearby landing strip helped import supplies and followers. Plus, the remote locations made it harder for anyone to escape. But just because you can't afford infrastructure doesn't mean your cult needs to be stuck in a rundown shack. The community of Rajneeshpuram settled in Wasco County, Oregon. Initially, they kept to themselves, but as more people flocked to the commune to hear the teachings of the leader Osho, the more they expanded into neighboring streets. A bitter feud erupted between the locals and this mass influx of cultists, so the commune tried to tip the scales in their favor by manipulating democratic elections, forcing out residents, and even poisoning water supplies. That brings us to the next lesson. Step 7. Defend yourself and attack your enemies. Every messiah has detractors, and your rise to the top will be no different. The first tactic to consider is a smear campaign, especially if it's an ex-cult member trying to whistleblow. Not only will ruining their reputation dilute the impact of their testimony, it will also encourage your followers to police each other when you're not around. L. Ron Hubbard didn't tolerate criticism in his own life. When the sci-fi author founded the Church of Scientology in 1953, he made sure that his treatment of his enemies as fair game became a tenet of his cult. Fair game means anonymous letters sent to your employer containing all kinds of unfavorable lies. It means contaminating your online presence with combative and relentless trolling. It means any family member still in the church will be forced to publicly stand against you. Naturally, Scientology denies this. But when Hollywood screenwriter Paul Haggis renounced Scientology, the church posted a short film on their website titled Paul Haggis, the Hypocrite of Hollywood. When he was arrested for historical sex crimes, other famous ex-members said that this was all a part of the church's revenge plan. But if your dirty tactics won't silence your critics, then consider doing the unthinkable. In 1978, Jonestown was about to become national news when Congressman Leo Ryan concluded his investigations into the compound's alleged kidnappings. He returned to his small plane with his party, including defectors from the cult. But Jim Jones gave the order to assassinate him. If the world had learned that the people would be held against their will, then the jig would be up. They were ambushed by assailants with machine guns, and the incident was captured on a news camera left at the scene. Step 8. Go crazy. A cult is not a cult until the order comes in to do something insane. The Tokyo subway gas attack was proof that Aum Shinrikyo was serious about witnessing the end of the world. On that fateful day in March 1995, 5 members of the group unleashed serum gas during the peak of the morning rush hour on one of the world's busiest commuter transport systems. Each perpetrator was carrying packets of chemicals and umbrellas with sharpened tips. At their prearranged locations and times, the packets were dropped and pierced, before each terrorist exited the train and escaped in a waiting car. 13 died at the scene, with 2 succumbing to injuries later in the hospital. Over 1,000 people were injured. But this wasn't the group's first act of bioterrorism. 9 months earlier, they released sarin gas in a quiet residential neighborhood in Matsumoto. That time, it was an assassination attempt against 3 judges. They were targeted because the courthouse was filing a complaint by residents who were opposed to the group setting up offices in the area. Clearly, they had reason to be concerned. 8 people lost their lives, one of whom died after being in a coma for 14 years. Step 9.
I wonder if they were promised some type of wonderful afterlife to justify doing that. Does that sound like any other extremist religions and fanatics out there who like to hurt people in public? Oh my, I can't imagine who that would be. As my camera keeps flipping out, I think it's too dark in here. Come on. There we go.
Make a dramatic exit. Whether or not group suicide was a plan from the outset, make sure you have a final say on how the cult is disbanded or risk spending the remainder of your days on death row. David Koresh and the Branch Davidians went out in flames and bullets in a 1993 siege against the US government. To this day, it is contested who fired the first bullets and what caused the fire. Jonestown put cyanide in Kool-Aid, and all 1,000 or so members downed the liquid before authorities got to them. However, not everyone went willingly.
Which is where the saying, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid" comes from.
Though some were force-fed the fatal poison, including the children. Then you have the Ugandan cult Movement for the Restoration of the 10 Commandments of God. When the apocalypse didn't arrive at the end of 1999, members were demanding their donation money back. So the church set a new date for the end of the world, but this time it would be real. The congregation was lured to a barn on promise of a party, but the doors were locked and the building was set on fire. 778 people perished. However, to this day, the perpetrators have not been caught, and no arrests have been made. But maybe this is too graphic for your cult. Perhaps you would prefer to do what Heaven's Gate did and rent a mansion, lie in bed with a bag over your head, and put spare change in your pocket. According to surviving members, this wasn't just to cover funeral costs, but a tongue-in-cheek joke about the cost of interstellar travel. So what's your cult going to be like? Let us know what your doctrine is in the comment section below. If you'd like to learn more about escaping groupthink, check out our video on the historical guide.
Well, now, that coinage, that dates all the way back into Egypt to help pay into the afterlife. That's where that comes from. But I digress, right? What do I know? Let's queue up the next one. And I think we lost our favorite Irishman. I think he's lost his connection, but hopefully he will return shortly because he's always fun to have around and very insightful. So now we're going to take a look at why do people join cults? Well, all those lonely people out there looking for somebody to follow. Are you a follower or are you a leader? If the leader tells you to walk off the cliff with the rest of the sheep, do you march with the herd? I would say no.
When Reverend Jim Jones founded the People's Temple in 1955, few could have imagined its horrifying end. This progressive religious movement rose in popularity and gained support from some of San Francisco's most prominent politicians. But in 1977, amidst revelations of brainwashing and abuse, Jones moved with several hundred followers to establish the commune of Jonestown in Guyana. Billed as a utopian paradise, the colony was more like a prison camp. And when a congressional delegation arrived to investigate its conditions, Jones executed his final plan. On November 18, 1978, 909 men, women, and children died after being forced to drink poisoned Flavor Aid. That grisly image has since been immortalized as shorthand slang for single-minded, cult-like thinking. They drank the Kool-Aid. Today, there are thousands of cults around the world. It's important to note two things about them. First, not all cults are religious. Some are political, therapy-based, focused on self-improvement, or otherwise. And on the flip side, not all new religions are what we're referring to as cults. So what exactly defines our modern understanding of cults? And why do people join them? Broadly speaking, a cult is a group or movement with a shared commitment to a usually extreme ideology that's typically embodied in a charismatic leader. And while few turn out as deadly as Jonestown or Heaven's Gate, which ended in a mass suicide of 39 people in 1997, most cults share some basic characteristics.
If you're in chat right now, let us know your thoughts on cult leaders, or if you've had any experiences, and we will definitely engage with you.
A typical cult requires a high level of commitment from its members and maintains a strict hierarchy, separating unsuspecting supporters and recruits from the inner workings. It claims to provide answers to life's biggest questions through its doctrine, along with the required recipe for change that shapes a new member into a true believer. And most importantly, it uses both formal and informal systems of influence and control to keep members obedient, with little tolerance for internal disagreement or external scrutiny. You might wonder whether some of these descriptions might also apply to established religions. In fact, the word cultus originally described people who cultivated the worship of certain gods by performing rituals and maintaining temples. But in time, it came to mean excessive devotion. Many religions began as cults, but integrated into the fabric of the larger society as they grew. A modern cult, by contrast, separates its members from others. Rather than providing guidelines for members to live better lives, a cult seeks to directly control them, from personal and family relationships to financial assets and living arrangements.
Now, some people like to be in that type of control, I have noticed. I have actually ran across people who would like it if you pay them or spend their money for them also known as pay pigs. Have you ever met anybody, Shane, where they liked this type of control?
Oh yeah, you see them all the time. You see the environmental cult. I see an awful lot of. You know, they want to tell you where you can go, what you can spend, what foods you should buy, what they tell you not to buy this product and that product. You know, it's everywhere.
Oh my God, I think you just talked about most of the government movements today. I think you just touched on that. Now, we're not trying to get too political here, but my goodness, don't eat the beef. Don't eat the chicken. Eat the bugs.
Cow
instead.
farts are the cause of all our trouble.
Exactly. Don't do what you want to do. Do what we tell you to do, and when we tell you to do it. You have a curfew of 15 minutes to make sure you get back to your house, or you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, these 15-minute cities they're talking about.
I know that they said that they're coming. I say no. Not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Oh, I read that the federal government has made it a law that by 2035, every car in the United States must be electric and must have a control system.
Of course. So that way, when you get too far out, or they don't like what you're doing or where you're going, they're going to cut that off. Now, we got to be careful about talking about politics right now. But my God, this just kind of slaps across everything from these bullshit religions to these, these online spaces. But it's hitting everything that's happening worldwide. So I'm gonna hit play again.
Cults also demand obedience to human leaders who tend to be highly persuasive people with authoritarian and narcissistic streaks motivated by money, sex, power, or all three. While a cult leader uses
Oh my God! Did you just hear that? That almost sounds like all the PUA out there and the manosphere, huh? That just took a shot right there. Said all the different key attributes that are going on with the manosphere space right now. How to pick up women and get sex and have little to no responsibility. If you have the responsibility, make sure you have all the control, and that the woman be subservient as opposed to being your wife and your partner in life. No, we want a nice little what they used to call those women back in the day. The wives, what they used to call them, where they just do whatever. They're like a robot. Stepford wives. I'm sorry. I
yeah.
forgot about that. Yes, the Stepford Wives.
Great movie.
Yes, it's a great movie. I think they did the remake with
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, when was the first one made? Was that the 70s?
The first one was 1975, I think.
Oh my God, you even knew the year. I am so impressed with you.
Great movie. Catherine Ross.
Catherine Ross. I think I need to go watch the original. I didn't really care for the Nicole.
No, the sequel the remake is terrible.
Yeah, I thought the remake was horrible, but I didn't really remember the first one. But the manosphere pushing Stepford Wives, of course. Let's continue, Shane.
Personal charisma to attract initial followers. Further expansion works like a pyramid scheme, with earlier members recruiting new ones. Cults are skilled at knowing whom to target, often focusing on those new to an area or who have recently undergone some personal or professional loss. Loneliness and a desire for meaning make one susceptible to friendly people offering community. The recruitment process can be subtle, sometimes taking months to establish a relationship. In fact, more than 2/3 of cult members are recruited by a friend, family member, or coworker, whose invitations are harder to refuse. Once in the cult, members are subjected to multiple forms of indoctrination. Some play on our natural inclination to mimic social behaviors or follow orders. Other methods may be more intense, using techniques of coercive persuasion involving guilt, shame, and fear. And in many cases, members may willingly submit out of desire to belong and to attain the promised rewards. The cult environment discourages critical thinking, making it hard to voice doubts when everyone around you is modeling absolute faith. The resulting internal conflict, known as cognitive dissonance, keeps you trapped, as each compromise makes it more painful to admit you've been deceived. And though most cults don't lead members to their death, they can still be harmful. By denying basic freedoms of thought, speech, and association, cults stunt their members' psychological and emotional growth. A particular problem for children who are deprived of normal developmental activities and milestones. Nevertheless, many cult members eventually find a way out, whether through...
Tony Bruno brought up a very, very good point. Says, cult leaders are all about control. Most are gamma males with a pitiful childhood trying to make up with power over others that they never had, in my opinion. And I would definitely say that I agree, and that is a factor, Tony.
Through their own realizations, the help of family and friends, or when the cult falls apart due to external pressure or scandals. Many cults may be hard to identify, and for some, their beliefs, no matter how strange, are protected under religious freedom. But when their practices involve harassment, threats, illegal activities, or abuse...
Welcome in, Trippycast. No problem. Have a great stream.
The law can intervene. Believing in something should not come at the cost of your family and friends. And if someone tells you to sacrifice your relationships or morality for the greater good, they're most likely exploiting you for their own.
The more you know. So what did you think about that, Shane?
I think he's right. Another thing I think you see it in politics a lot with political parties, don't you?
We do.
You know, the party think, or what the party line is, or people suspending critical thought, you know, to support a leader. You know, you also see it, I think, in feminism, which has an awful lot of, you know, people with bad histories or bad childhoods telling people how to, controlling people. You know, how many times do you hear the feminists on television or on some panel repeating other people's words? You know, they're very often they don't think independently.
No, that's the whole point of this. And I opened up stating that feminists are also a part of that movement. None of these people have any independent thought whatsoever. They're just constantly repeating a mantra that they're hearing, even if it
dogma,
lacks,
even.
Yeah, and oh well, it's all dogma. All of it is dogma. I mean, just because it's not necessarily religious doesn't make it not dogmatic in origin.
Well, I think they use religion because religion has been so successful over the centuries.
True. Very, very true. The biggest problem, I think, with all of it is, especially with the feminists, is it lacks total rationale and reason. Just like the manosphere lacks rationale and reason. Men are not any more the problem than the women are, because we're both cut from the same cloth. And people would like to say that we were not, but even in God's word, it says that we are one flesh. We come from the same flesh. It doesn't matter whether it's a man or whether it's a woman. We're both exactly the same, and you're both exactly the same in the eyes of God. So if one is responsible, we're both responsible. Now, how do we change it? I'm not quite sure just yet, but let's take a look at how to spot a cult, and then we'll talk about more of that later.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, he called me. Oh my God. Like my favorite. Daniel, you better step it up, baby.
Sponsored by Curiosity Stream. Get access to my video streaming service, Nebula, when you sign up for Curiosity Stream using the link in the description. When people hear the word cult, a certain image tends to burst into their brain. Brainwashed devotees worshipping a crazed narcissist and willing to sacrifice anything for them. While Jonestown, Heaven's Gate, and the Solar Temple have given cults a violent reputation, most cults tend to keep a much lower profile. Cults are everywhere. There's probably a cult in your town, and the tricks they use to lure people in aren't complicated, but rather tried and tested social manipulation tactics that anyone can fall for. So what is a cult? How do they trap people? And how do people end up believing that volcano alien ghosts are living on their bodies? Well, let's find out.
How much should good car insurance cost you a month?
Here we go. We got a little commercial thing. I have to figure out how to skip all that stuff coming up in the near future. I need to get a little bit more sophisticated, don't I?
Form around anything: politics, religion, business, self-improvement, therapy, hate, aliens, meditation, YouTube channels, and eco-friendly lifestyles. Cults are not solely religious, and not all new religious movements or unorthodox groups are cults. Cult does not mean religion or group I don't like, but refers to a very specific structure and characteristics. The Symbionese Liberation Army, famous for kidnapping Patty Hearst, was a political cult. Amway is a corporate cult. And the Children of God, the cult that Joaquin Phoenix was raised in, that's a religious cult.
Oh my God, he said Amway. My uncle used to try to sell Amway products back in the day when I was a kid. That is so funny that they said Amway.
Do you remember the Patty Hearst thing? She was, they invented Stockholm Syndrome based on her.
Is that where Stockholm Syndrome came from? I did not know that.
Yeah, from her, because they kidnapped her and then she was abused and sexually assaulted repeatedly, and then they sort of broke her, and before you knew it, she came to identify with her hostage takers, and before you knew it, she was helping rob banks for them.
Well, I guess we all need a bunch of loyal followers like that now, don't we? Unwavering, you know. That's
but it shows just how fragile the mind is, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. That's why they practice forms of torture and breaking people in the military. Yeah, to get information. Isn't that right, Uncle Guns?
Stafarianism, Baha'i, Wicca, those are new religious movements. but not cults. They don't deceive people into joining, and they don't demand their followers cut off ties with non-Rastafarian friends and family. It isn't their belief that make a cult, it's their authoritarian structure, their deceptive recruitment, and how controlling they are. That's why cults are also called totalist groups, and why they share their structure with totalitarian regimes. Cults aren't about belief, they're about...
Tony just made another great point. Strong men lead, weak men control in all aspects of life and in their life, and definitely the lives around them. So, facts. I agree with that.
Stalin had a cult, his totalitarian cult of personality.
I was trying. I started off talking about that, and I was trying not to list political names. I agree with you, though.
I do recall that he had everyone had photos of him in their home, like he was looking at them while they were watching dinner, or eating dinner.
They did the same thing with Germany.
Mm.
That's what they did. So, and you could talk about Caesar.
Mm. Well, Caesar was literally deified as a god.
Yeah. Well, that's a form of it, but it doesn't make it any less dictatorship and cult in form and dogmatic.
Mm. And he was he was an actual dictator for life as well.
Yes, correct. But in the end, all cults are dictatorships, all of them.
Mm.
That's why they talk about devotation, strict rules. Stay within the little box that they give you, and
they always have the fanatics who support it.
Yes, absolutely.
The internal structure,
Yes, you even see it in a smaller form in local churches.
Mm.
And considering I'm a preacher's daughter, I can definitely attest to that. Now, I'm not saying somebody's belief in God is a form of a cult. That's not what I'm saying. We're talking about the practices and the origins and how they formulate what they're doing and how people respond to it. That is cultish in form and nature. And with that, I'm going to hit play.
Control. And to spot a cult, you just have to look out for these 3 characteristics. 1. A charismatic and authoritarian leader. Cult leaders always have 2 qualities: charisma and authoritarianism. A cult leader needs to have enough confidence, charm, and drive to pull people in, and they're always narcissists. Cult leaders like Jim Jones, Soko Ashihara, and Marshall Applewhite all fit at least 8 of the 9 criteria for people with narcissistic personality disorder. Their charisma and grandiose sense of self-importance attract people, but after that initial charm, their authoritarian nature and lack of empathy creates a culture of fear and terror, which keeps people in the cult.
The energy that I felt from him put me into a state of almost fear and awe, because when somebody says and starts owning that he may be or kind of is a representative of the kingdom of heaven, there's kind of a energy that's exchanged between the 2 people. It's like there's a charge that goes on.
2. Thought reform. Coercive persuasion.
Did you notice some of the key words that he said? He said fear and awe. Shane, did you notice that?
Awe is a very interesting word. It's usually reserved for God himself.
That's right. And so some of these people would think that they almost had like a deity type of presence.
Yeah, like a divine experience or something, or
That's
a spiritual awakening.
There was certain types of presidents not too far long ago, 2008, that they said he was the chosen one. And I would watch the crowd as he would speak, and they would begin to cry, like as if he was like God reincarnated. Made me want to vomit.
I think I know the person you mean. The person
very much
this
so.
person received a Nobel Peace Prize, even though he was at war with 2 countries.
Always, yes.
I do remember him joking at a correspondence dinner about how he was the son of Krypton, and he started talking about being like he was Superman. Seriously, you should look that up. It's very funny.
Yes, and I noticed some of his tactics, much like in Germany. He was constantly on every night show, on all of the commercials, inundating all of your media, and those are also tactics that they use to keep pushing the presence and the brainwashing out into the public.
And very divisive.
Very, very divisive, yes. and acting like one of the guys, with charisma and funny and making jokes, and such a great president. My ass.
He was a great snake oil salesman, that guy.
He was a great snake oil salesman. Correct. I would agree with that. And let us continue.
Brainwashing, mind control, whatever you want to call it. It's a process through which people can change the minds and thoughts of other people without them realizing it's happening. Cults, along with other cult-like groups such as terrorist organizations, hate groups, and totalitarian movements, all use thought reform. It even happens in cases of domestic abuse. Thought reform or brainwashing doesn't turn people into zombies or Manchurian candidates. There's no secret drugs or hypnosis going on. It's simply words and group pressures. We'll look at how cults use thought reform to manipulate people in a bit. 3. Exploitation. Once a charismatic...
I'm not saying names. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I will definitely say in my past, people would tell me like, oh, nobody's ever going to want you. I'm the only one who loves you. I'm the only one who's ever going to be around. And then on the other side of it would be, you're no good. You're just like all the other women, and so on and so on. And until they beat you down psychologically. And that's another form of brainwashing and mind.
And if it's been happening since you were a child, it's very easy.
Oh, very, very easy. Hey, Barry Geekler, good to have you back. You might have to rewind it later on to see all the tactics of occult leaders.
Leader has indoctrinated a follower through thought reform, they can begin exploiting them economically, psychologically, politically, or sexually.
He was doing so much in the community, and so why not, rather than just tithe your 20%, why not sell your home? Give the money to the church. And that is what people began to do.
So how do people end up in cults? Well, people end up in cults or totalist groups in a number of different ways. Many are kidnapped.
I've seen the funny thing about my old man, he would be like, when he would watch all the other preachers and he would turn on, say, TBN and whatnot, he'd be like, come on, boys, it's time to tighten up your belts. And they're sitting there crying and asking for more money out of all the grandmas. Some of them were eating cat food, in order to give more money to the church. It's even my old man.
Shameful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's shameful. When times are hard on people, then it should be reflected even within inside of the church. Instead of trying to milk every damnable cent that they can get out of people.
Or forcibly enlisted, like the estimated 20,000 children forced into Joseph Kony's Lord's Resistance Army. Once forced into these groups, their charismatic and authoritarian leaders can begin indoctrination. Or you can be born into a cult or totalitarian regime. The children raised in the Children of God cult, or North Korean citizens, didn't choose to be in the cult they're in, but both of them are exposed to the same thought reform processes and authoritarianism. Or you can be recruited into a cult. There's a common stereotype of a typical cult recruit, a seeker, a slightly...
Now, nobody remember. I'm going to first quote Tony, and then I'm going to... maybe Shane would remember this. Tony says, I think people confuse cults for a tribe, whereas a cult has only one in control. Tribes have a hierarchy. That is also correct. And I also believe that is true. It's a sense of family, also, sense of belonging, kind of like a club even,
Community.
Community definitely has a community aspect to it. And other things that people would never think of. During 2008, there was an organization called Acorn. Would you remember that organization, Shane?
It's ringing a bell. Just give me a little more.
Okay. And Acorn was a part of that 2008 presidential movement. Interestingly enough,
I know what you mean.
They had, hold on. Let me put one of those facts out there for people. They had many offices opening up, trying to recruit underage females, probably males too, just say underage, KIDS, and to be into a sex trafficking. Okay. And they were caught doing that many times. And then one day you just didn't hear about them anymore, and then they were gone. But they raised millions and millions and millions for that individual. Now, does it ring a bell?
Yes, indeed it does. Yes.
Yes. That's also
Yeah, this happened in. They set up these little schools, didn't they? For their little acorn.
Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah, and there was a lot of abuse happened at those schools, as I recall.
Mm-hmm. And let's hit continue.
Wacky hippie type, very into hummus and crystals, who went looking for enlightenment, found a cult, and can now assemble a Kalashnikov while doing yoga. But study after study has discovered that there is no personality profile for your typical terrorist or cult recruit. Any of us could become vulnerable given the right conditions, the right group, and the right time. Major life changes such as a recent move, a breakup, a death in the family, career shift, war, natural disaster, or a global pandemic can leave someone isolated from their usual support structures. During these times, we all tend to look for friends, are more open to strangers, and are more willing to accept things we normally wouldn't. Usually, it's the cults that go out and look for followers, and cults recruit everywhere. Lectures, seminars, retreats, going door to door. They run schools, businesses, political groups, meditation and yoga classes, weight loss programs, and therapy clinics. Most cults even have front groups set up to appeal to a wide range of interests. The Unification Church, commonly known as the Moonies, have hundreds of front groups, including academic and professional groups, dozens of businesses, and media such as the New World Encyclopedia and the Washington Times. The Church of Scientology has front groups like Sterling Management, who do corporate training, or the Narconon Drug Rehabilitation Program, or, hilariously, the Cult Awareness Network is also a Scientology front group. Cults are always deceptive during recruitment. New recruits will interact with a front group unaware that it's related to a cult.
Hey, OTW Live has just stepped into the house. Hey, you, welcome in. Please remember to hit the like and hopefully you subscribe. There will be far more on this topic and many others to come, including health for men, and wellness.
There is never any mention of galactic overlords, celibacy, polygamy, suicide missions, 20-hour workdays, or forced marriages. That all comes much later. For now, it's just a group interested in bettering themselves and the world through mindfulness or new biblical interpretations or a public speaking workshop. Nothing to worry about. The Unification Church calls this heavenly deception. Other Bible-based cults call it giving milk before meat. It's okay to lie to new recruits because, in the end, it's for their own good. Once within reach, the new recruit will be love-bombed. Love bombing is a tactic in which cult members smother new recruits with flattery, praise, and affection. Love bombing is extremely effective on anyone, but especially so on people who already feel isolated and ignored. New recruits will gradually find their free time filled with group classes, meetings, dinners, and retreats. Recruits' lives are swallowed up by the group. Their entire day is filled with cult-related work assignments, studying, lectures, meditating, chanting, etc., etc. This has the added benefit of keeping the recruit awake for long periods, which affects their critical thinking abilities and simply leaves them with no time to reflect on what's actually happening.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your...
A little break on the commercial. Sorry about that.
Interrogation does that, they keep you awake, or torture, they keep you awake. They used to do in the Cold War drug therapy where they made you think you were sleeping, to make time seem like you'd been spent months in there where you would only maybe spent days.
Wow. I didn't realize that it was in that depth. Wow.
Oh yeah. And they used to do they would keep you in a room with sensory deprivation, no light, no clothes, and a little thing to pee in, and they would come in and change the pee thing to make it seem like you had been there longer,
Wow.
And your resistance broke down.
Yes, and when you're that tired, you'll break real easy. Definitely, for sure.
Yep, you're constantly busy, and you're made to feel guilty if you take too many luxuries like sleeping. You tend to not really think for yourself, and I did allow Jones to think for me.
Many cults will then begin to pressure new members to leave their family, friends, and jobs. Free Domain Radio is an internet-based cult led by self-proclaimed philosopher Stefan Molyneux, known for its practice of encouraging its new recruits to de-foo, to reject their family of origin. This isolation tactic is common in cults to force a recruit to become dependent on the group.
Did you want to say something, Shane? I heard something. Did you want to say something to that?
No, just I used to listen to him.
Oh, you did. And what did you notice?
His philosophy thing.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't go into the cult or anything. Just I thought he was very good, as a speaker.
Oh.
He used to have a lot of call-ins where people would call into his show, like women would call in and talk about their marriages and things.
Uncle Gunn says Stefan is not a cult leader.
But I do know that he's hated by the left.
Really? Why?
Yeah, they did. He did a thing with Lawrence Southern. He went on a tour of Australia, and they tried to ban him from New Zealand.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm gonna hit play again.
Removing family removes a fundamental source of emotional and financial support for people, and an important source of reality checking. Romantic relationships and friendships must also be scrutinized even within the group. This is why many cults practice either celibacy or polygamy, because it stops people from forming a close romantic bond with just one person. The only relationship they can have must be with the entire group or the leader. To replace families, many cult leaders take on familial ties. David Berg, head of the Children of God, was known as Dad or Grandpa. Elizabeth Clare, prophet of the Church Universal and Triumphant, was Mother. And Paul Pot, leader of the Khmer Rouge, was known as Brother Number 1. Many cults encourage confessing traumas either to the whole cult or with an assigned member.
Before I came here, I was taking LSD, marijuana, every type of dope you can imagine. Without our pastor Jim Jones to teach me the right way, I would not be in college right now.
The cult will usually lead the recruit to exaggerate or even misremember their pasts negatively. This causes guilt and anxiety about their former personal connections and past. They were bad people before they joined the group, and the group is the only way they can become better people.
In my last lifetime, I lived during World War II, and I was a French prostitute that I had taken up with a German officer just to protect my butt. The French resistance.
I'm sorry. I think she's having a fantasy, actually. Reading too many romance novels or something. In my past life,
Outlander.
I know, like in my past life, I was in World War II, and I was banging a soldier as a French prostitute. What the hell's going on, lady? You're just tracked in the nutcases, huh?
found out about me, and they threw me and all my belongings out in the street. And the mob that mobbed me and shaved my head there is the reason why I'm so afraid of crowds now.
The group will position itself as...
What, she's not going to say she fell in love with the guy too? Where's the kids? Did she have kids with him too? Like, come on, jeez.
The only sanctuary in which these feelings can be expressed. So now the follower will seek more comfort from the group, even though it's the group that's causing their discomfort. Everyone is constantly confessing things to the cult. Sharing anything to one member of the cult means sharing it to everyone. So privacy does not exist. They cannot share doubts or complaints or tell anyone if they are being abused. The lack of free time, the sleep deprivation, and the complete destruction of individuality means that there is no time for self-reflection. Recruits suffer from a triple isolation, from friends and family, from other cult members, and from their own mind. As the follower grows more isolated, they begin to rely on approval from the cult, and this is where human weakness to peer pressure can be used against them. Even when a cult member has doubts, they are made to feel that they are wrong. When they look around, they see only happy, believing followers. No one expresses any doubt, and so when a follower feels doubt, they feel alone and wrong. It is them that must work harder to understand the group. The group or the leader is never wrong.
I'd look around and I'd say, am I the only one that feels this way? I learned eventually not to say anything to anyone.
In a cult, you are rewarded for good behavior with praise and privileges, but those that behave in the wrong way are shunned and punished. So as the cult is isolating you from your ordinary reality, they provide you with a new and unanimously approved worldview. Now an all or nothing point of view begins to be preached to them. They teach that every single word of the ideology is completely true or none of it is. If you have any doubts, you will be excluded and you will suffer. The way that these ideas are told also matters. Every cult or totalitarian system has its own loaded language.
In other words, it's all or nothing.
Mm.
When you push people to do all or nothing, it brings them to the point where they have to literally choose, which is a good tactic to keep people in line.
But I think a genuine religion has doubt, doesn't it? And
Genuine,
question.
yeah, of course it does. Genuine anything, when there's individuality and thought, always brings doubt.
And questions are encouraged.
Yeah, of course. Well, they should be encouraged.
Well,
but
they
not-
should be, yeah.
Yeah, they should be, but not in these scenarios. They don't do that.
Mm.
If you question them, then too many questions will come up, and then they will be too challenged. And so you would start to see the dangers of what you start to do. That's why they keep people. That's why they keep people in that type of all or nothing and isolation tactics, which I noticed when I was dating that Jehovah's Witness guy, which he was hiding. He was converting into being a Jehovah's Witness. I didn't know it at the time. Yes, it was a fireman. Not worth the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I'll quote some people in the space. Most people in the space don't know that quote actually came from the Girl Next Door movie. That's exactly where that came from.
Is that right?
Hell yes, it is. And with that, I'll hit play again.
Scientology, for example, uses terms like reactive mind, suppressive person, and case game. Loaded language prevents followers from expressing anything outside the cult's ideology. New, vague words that can stand for anything are used without the things themselves actually being discussed. Why listen to your family telling you you're in a cult when they're suppressive people? And you know suppressive people shouldn't be listened to. All kinds of horrible names are given to non-cult members. Systemites, unclean, or satanic, for example. This creates an us versus them mindset. Now, any criticism of the cult is seen as an attack. You are in the cult or you are an enemy. There is no in between. Now, their whole existence is the group. If they leave, they are nothing. And joining the...
You see that with feminism, and you also see that with the men's spaces here online, also in the social media groups.
You also see if people were once a member and they leave, they are truly despised. They're apostate.
That's exactly what I was saying right now. And they ostracize them, and you tell them that they are, now you're a simp. If you love a woman, you're a simp. Or if a woman loves a man who was a feminist, there's something wrong with you.
See, what's funny? I was called a simp once for saying thank you to a woman.
That's the most absurd, asinine thing ever.
It's crazy.
It's called basic etiquette. You're supposed to be, basic etiquette.
Yeah, like the woman did something nice for me. I said thank you, and
Yeah, open doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't pick your nose. It kind of goes in line with don't pick your nose in public. How to hold your.
Oh, you see the other thing on the other side with women, it's the pick me thing.
Yes. Well,
if she agrees with a man, she's a pick me. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If I just agree absurdly, without thought to anything that you say or do, even though you could be completely wrong, and I could be being marched into like some inferno somewhere.
Oh, I've seen other things where like a husband and wife will agree on something.
Yes.
And women will say, "Oh, she's only parroting what the husband is saying."
Yeah. No. But
right.
I will say, when a man loves a woman and a woman loves a man, if you want to put it in the terms of simping, okay, fine. You're supposed to simp for each other, but I wouldn't call it that because it's incorrect in use.
Yeah.
You're supposed to love and care for each other, and you're supposed to value each other's opinion. But
it would be very strange for opinions not to rub off on each other.
Absolutely. The Word of God says two cannot walk together, say they be agreed. Otherwise, you're both pulling in two separate directions.
Exactly.
And you see it all the time. And with that, let's hit play again.
The outside world is seen as a very dangerous idea. Many cults preach that anyone that leaves will probably die or be living on the streets in no time. Here, the cult's control becomes total, allowing no other beliefs and no other affiliations. This is why cults are called totalist groups. They consume every aspect of the follower's life. while an average Christian, Buddhist, or Muslim can enjoy astrology, attend yoga classes, and like and subscribe to the Cogito YouTube channel, someone this far into a cult has nothing outside of it. All activities, relationships, and beliefs revolve around the cult. The deeper you go towards the center of the cult, the more distant from reality you start to become. The beliefs revealed to the inner circles of the cult are sometimes so extreme that the outer circles must be protected from it until they are ready. For example, in Scientology, the public and new recruits were protected from the most extreme ideas, like that of the dictator of the Galactic Confederacy, Xenu, and of alien souls bursting forth from volcanoes and jumping onto human bodies. The public only found out about this story after it was leaked by ex-cult members, journalists, and the internet. Once a follower has reached a stage where the cult's ideology has totally consumed them, they'll believe and do anything. Followers can now be exploited and deployed. In most cases, cult members end up losing a few years of their lives, going broke, or ending up with too many supplement pills that they can't sell. But cults can take an unfortunately dangerous route sometimes, which is why it's important to spot a cult's characteristics and the methods they use to isolate and control people. And that's a basic introduction to cults. It isn't even close to covering everything. There's a lot of debate around this topic. One video simply can't cover it.
I'm going to be unpopular for a second. Like InfoWars, peddling fear-mongering. And while they peddle the fear-mongering, they give you the solution of buying 1,000,001 of their different supplement products or different other products to help, protect you from radiation and everything.
Didn't he make a fortune from them?
He did. He absolutely
hundreds of millions then.
He did, and that's why they're making him go broke. Make somebody go broke. They don't have the same they don't have the same power and traction.
But no, but they're turning the frogs gay.
I got introduced to him. I can't even remember how I think my crazy ass aunt introduced me to him. It was my crazy ass aunt, and I was watching the guy one day. And I got really pissed off, and I was like, you know what this dude's doing? All he's doing is peddling fear-mongering, and he's presenting all this information to people, and he's not presenting zero solutions. And people
you remember him on
and people are scared.
Piers Morgan on CNN.
Hold on, and they're scared shitless over here looking for a solution, and they're looking for somebody who has the cojones to lead into that solution. And I said all the way back in 2013, I said, this guy, they're going to go after this guy. And when they bring him down, he's making the mistake. If you're going to go down in flames. You may as well take your power and take your power and your money and put it to good use and actually present a solution. But he didn't do that. He's a fucking coward like all the rest of them. Now, go ahead. Tell me what you got to say.
I remember his famous debate with Piers Morgan about the Second Amendment. Do you remember? I think it was after one of the school shootings, and
I
God,
remember it.
He was crazy.
What he said. Yeah, well, yeah.
He was absolute. They're coming for your guns. They're going to take over the world. It's going to be 1776 again.
I know. That's to keep people jacked up, and so when they get jacked up, then they're going to buy more shit to go and try to protect themselves with. That's how it works. Unfortunately. Now, I'm not going to say whether I believe something like that is or isn't going to come, because I don't want anybody coming for me. So, but I would definitely say my alarm bells are always up, but I'm not gonna listen to a fearmonger like that. I do not remember everything in that interview. So if there's a point or something else, I don't remember it all. Do you? Is there anything else specific?
Well, what I remember is his he was doing that thing, where they filibuster and they keep on talking.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like he was talking like a preacher,
Yeah, to me, he's talking more like a guy who's on coke or something. Because he's got addiction issues. You know that, right?
I heard there was a divorce, wasn't there, as well?
Yes, there was.
I don't know, on some sort of custody.
He was banging somebody else on the show, but I'm sure he was banging more than just her,
I was very.
Guys.
Do you remember the other chick, Millennial Nilly, that was on his network?
Wasn't she the one with the really bad hair extensions and stuff, who was always
Blonde hair. Yeah, she used to go out and do the street interviews.
Yes, I remember her. I
But
believe
oh
it.
my God, I saw her. She's really lost it.
Psychologically or what?
Yeah, I mean, she was on whatever podcast debating Andrew Wilson about politics, and oh my God, I thought she was smart, beforehand. Jesus, she was terrible.
Honestly, she was probably reading from a script and points from somebody else in the show, and they were just looking for somebody to read off what those points were.
Probably.
That's usually how that works. They'll just they'll find some bimbos.
Of course, what's in street interviews? I mean, it's other people doing the talking. You just have to ask questions.
Yeah, that also works. Yeah.
Everything. This was just a primer so that when we start making videos about specific cults, you'll know what we're talking about. Cults can be very dangerous and should always be avoided. So instead of joining a cult, why not join CuriosityStream? CuriosityStream is a streaming service that gives you access to thousands of documentaries. They even offer exclusive original documentaries featuring great minds like David Attenborough and Stephen Hawking. And right now, they're giving you a 26% discount off the annual plan. So you get unlimited access for less than $15 for a whole year. Along with that discount, you'll also get free access to Nebula when you sign up at curiositystream.com/.
Is this part of the cult he's talking about? Should I just hit an ad with
Nebula
help?
is a streaming video
Sponsorship,
platform
I think.
I'm helping to build along with a bunch of other creators. We're
Oh
building
yeah, it's part of an ad.
It'll be a
my
discount
bad. I
code
didn't
if
mean to
you-
start playing his ad. I am sorry. Oh my God, what's with my camera? Does anybody notice my camera keeps going out of focus? My goodness, what's going on? Come on. I think it might be too dark in here. Paying his sponsorships, Self says, absolutely is. So is there anything you want to add to that particular video that we just got done watching?
No, not particularly. No, I agree.
I agree with it too.
Mhm.
Does the chat have anything that they want to say or add to what we were watching in that video? If you've got any thoughts or questions, we will interact with you.
Yes, please do share.
Yes, please do share. And don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe and share with any of your friends and family. And Barry Geekler, he said something at the top. He said, I was considered being from a strange family because all my siblings had the same parents. They didn't always agree, but they never fought. It's okay if you didn't all have the same parents. Not everybody has the same family dynamics. Life happens.
No.
Life happens. That's just how it is. And this new video is called American Feminism's Demonic Influences with Dr. Carrie Gress. See, I told you I was going to get to the feminists eventually now, wasn't I? And we shall hit play.
Of feminism within
Mhm.
America, or do you want to go somewhere before
Sure.
that?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the interim, you've got France is the one that comes up with the word feminism, and you've got some other women that are involved. Madame Blavatsky, who creates Theosophy, who's another
what is
major
that?
player. So, Madame Blavatsky, I think that's how you say her name. She created Theosophy. She's this Russian noblewoman, supposedly, who traveled the world and took all these different religions and sort of smushed them together into this, spiritualism and seance, you name it. And that's the religion that ended up really animating and inspiring Elizabeth Cady Stanton and a number of the women that she worked with, especially women that helped her write the book called The Women's Bible.
Which was written roughly.
So I want to say 1880,
Yeah.
maybe. Thereabouts.
I mean, I don't want to jump ahead, but I was shocked to learn that was that the book that was written on the spirit table?
Oh
Or
no,
am I-
that's the Seneca Falls. What is it called?
Let's see.
Something of
Elizabeth and
sentiments.
Seneca's
The Declaration of
Thank you,
Sentiments.
Declaration of Sentiments. Yeah, because she's basing on the Declaration of Independence. So